If you are currently going through a really challenging time in your life, if you feel like things seem to be going backwards right now, not forwards, if you feel like no matter how hard you try to do things or how hard you try to manifest, things just seem to be crumbling before your very eyes. And so then when people like me share teachings like Neville Goddard, who say, just, live in the wish fulfilled, and you feel like, you know what, my reality is currently way too distracting and occupying way too much of my attention for me to possibly try and ignore it, then this video is for you. I want to offer a slightly different approach that could help you with where you're at right now, which is all about releasing the resistance and maybe the fear-based patterns that you've been living in recently in a way that's doable, that's realistic, and that's actually going to be very effective as well. Hello my darlings, welcome back to another video, or if you're brand new, welcome. My name's Lucie, and on this channel I share all kinds of things about personal development, spirituality, and how to become the best version of you. We're actually in a beautiful park in London called Horniman Gardens at the moment. I can see a beautiful view of London, and it's a Monday morning, and so I'm extremely grateful. But this morning I did feel some fear kick in. I felt some negativity kick in. I felt a little overwhelmed about my goals. I felt a little bit frustrated about where I am, feelings of being stuck, because there's always that human desire and human need to grow. So I thought, you know what, I'm really craving listening to some Abraham Hicks, and Abraham delivered a message through this video to me today, which really helped me. I think it could really help some of you. And in fact, someone messaged me, I'll keep their name anonymous. They said they've been practicing the law of attraction and manifestation for years. Things were going well to an extent, but now it feels like everything is falling apart around them. Their income has halved. They said to me they're living on fear at the moment, and they're finding it really hard to visualize and manifest things that they want when their current reality is distracting them so much from that. So Abraham's message that I heard this morning, I thought, you know what, could really help. Abraham said that sometimes the best thing that you can do when you're in that situation is quite simply to focus on enjoying this very moment right now, the things around you right now, with no end goal, with no if I do this now, then it's going to make that happen. Instead, she was promoting enjoying what there is to enjoy now for the sake of enjoying it, for the sake of feeling good. And what ends up happening when you do this is you give yourself a break from the thinking patterns that have all been about frustration, fear, thinking about the future, thinking about the past, thinking about what's not here yet, thinking about how you're trying really hard and it's not happening. All of those thought patterns are filled with resistance and are all focusing on the subjects that you want, but focusing on the opposite, focusing on the lack of those subjects, focusing on the side of that subject that you don't want, the lack of, rather than the feeling of having it. So if pretending to yourself and visualizing and imagining and living in the wish fulfilled feels like way too much of just lying to yourself, it feels like you're just playing lying to yourself, this approach quite simply involves you just taking a break from all of that resistance. And what's wild is that in the process of taking a break from that resistance, you're letting go of a ton of thoughts, feelings, and vibrations that are all just focused and pointing you in the direction of what you don't want.
So the path of least resistance, or the path to non-resistance, is a really feel-good path. Feel the difference between overcoming something, which is full of grit and determination, and the feeling of letting well-being be. They're different feelings. And so the daydreaming that we're talking about will cause you to release resistance so that the cells of your body who are calling for whatever it is they need are allowed to receive what they need, because you're not in the way with your human and therefore bulky and awkward intervention.
From that place where you release resistance, if you want to, after that, then you could then also decide, I'm going to point myself in the direction of well-being. I'm moving into the direction of well-being. I'm looking in the direction and moving my life forward in the direction of wealth and prosperity. I'm directing my energy and my focus in the direction of love and happiness, rather than on the straight up opposite.
Can you feel the difference between struggle and ease? If you can feel the difference, and it's not a subtle difference, it's a big difference between trying to make something happen and knowing that it's already happened and just being willing to allow the rest of it to catch up.
Having a little bit of a conscious awareness like you do right now, to choose to do things like appreciate the world around you and admire the flowers and appreciate the breathing that you can do and living that you can do, will take you out of that cycle, get you feeling better, get you then, if you persist with this practice, get you feeling giddy about life. And then at the very least, so far the results are that you have been able to get yourself out of what felt like a negative, never-ending, vicious cycle of thoughts, feelings, and vibrations. The benefits that can follow, of course, are infinite.